They need the protection of their colony, their family, their friends to actually establish themselves successfully in the wild and then start their life from there. Welcome back to another episode of Shamwari TV. Today marks a special day at the Wildlife Rehab Centre because today is the final day the meerkats spent in their enclosure on this side of rehab. So by this afternoon we will catch all of the meerkats, load them into their carrier boxes and then transport them to our release destination. We've chosen a safe area within our pre-release camp, and a few weeks ago we've built a nice little enclosure to keep them in for the next couple of weeks. This enclosure will serve as their support system. So in this enclosure they will find fresh food, water and shelter if they need it. Meerkats are tricky animals to rehabilitate because they are such socially structured animals. So your success lies in the bigger the group, the bigger the success rate after you've released them. If you release them by themselves, unfortunately, it is the biggest death sentence ever. They need the protection of their colony, their family, their friends to actually establish themselves successfully in the wild and then start their life from there. The female alpha gave birth to a healthy couple of babies, and after successfully raising them, we now have enough to form a healthy, structured colony to slowly start with our release program. In a wildlife rehab centre, we do not breed. It is not the best case scenario as we do not like to breed animals in captivity. But in this case, meerkats, it's a long-term program, it's a long project, and we cannot put our animals on contraceptives. So in this case, we are looking at the silver lining. It's not something that we encouraged, but it has happened and we are using it to our benefit. So these babies, they are extremely wild. They are very skittish, which is great. It's what we want. And we can see that they are healthy, fully developed little meerkats running around. So we took all of their sleeping boxes, lookout towers, toys, tunnels, placed it into their enclosure so that they could have a familiar scent, something that they know within that enclosure. It worked really well because that was our way of showing them this is where you'll have to stay until you're ready to find your own feet and go out by yourself. We are monitoring their behavior from inside the enclosure through a motion-activated camera. This is an easy way to see if a meerkat comes in, if they take the food, water, and more or less a hands-off approach to monitoring their behavior and their activity of coming and going, eating some of our food. Until we notice they no longer come back to take the food, we know they are established. They can find their own food, water, and shelter, and they no longer need our assistance. This can take anything from a couple of weeks to a few months. We've worked on them for so long that we have to make sure the release goes according to plan. One slip up and it's 3 years down the drain, so we will feed them as long as possible until they need it. But as soon as we notice they are coping without our help, we will slowly but surely pack up everything, take away their pre-release enclosure because we know they no longer need that extra form of help.